So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar, Searching for a Needle in a Haystack, Elastic on Azure, a webinar hosted by Elastic and by Devoteam. My name is Tijmen Belen, and I will be the host of this webinar. But before we go to the program, I'd first like to introduce our speakers, Martijn from Elastic and Banu from Devoteam. Welcome, guys. Very good that you're here both. You're also going to introduce yourself in a few moments. So moving on to today's program. First, we start by the introductions from Martijn and Banu. Then we will have a quick poll. Martijn will tell you something and will introduce Elastic and, of course, Elastic on Azure. And then we'll have a second poll. Banu will introduce Devoteam. We will, of course, have a live demo of Elastic on Azure. Then we will have a final poll, and we'll end the webinar with a Q&A. Together with Martijn, Banu, and also Bharat Diraya from Devoteam will join there. Feel free to ask questions in our chat function. I will monitor all questions that we receive during the webinar. And we will also answer them at the end of the webinar in the Q&A part. So let's start with the first part, and those are the introductions from Martijn and Banu. So starting with Martijn.
Thank you very much, Tijmen. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Martijn Mulman. I'm a partner director at Elastic, covering the Benelux and Nordics market. And of course, in this situation, are very well established and very capable partner Devoteam, where we work together with in the entire region that I cover. Today, we'll be talking about Elastic on Azure, which obviously is one of my other partners. So can't be more happy to be on this call today. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll answer them later this morning. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Martijn, and thank you, Tijmen. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for joining this webinar on Elastic on Azure. I am Bhanu, and I'm a lead consultant at Devoteam. I help customers building data solution on cloud as well as on-prem using Elastic Stack. So, Tijmen, over to you. Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks, guys. Then we'll first start with a quick poll, and that's the first question. Why are you attending the webinar? And I'm going to launch it right now. I see some answers coming in. So I will close the poll in 30 seconds. Okay, so 15 seconds left. Oh, that's interesting. 40 seconds. Okay. Thanks for voting. I will close the poll right now. And I see that 22% said we are orienting on using Elastic Observability on Microsoft. Also 22% we are thinking of migrating to Microsoft Azure. And 56% we are just curious how Elastic on Microsoft Azure works. So very good for this webinar, I think, right?
Indeed.
Indeed. So about Elastic on Azure, Martijn.
Yes, thank you. So very good morning again. First of all, a quick intro on who is Elastic, and according to the poll, that's very relevant. Basically, we are a very young company, only founded in 2012. And in 2018, we went to the New York Stock Exchange, where we are available on the ESTC stack. And we are currently seen as the #1 search engine database in the world. And we're even in the top 10 of leading databases as a whole. We have a big community, starting with 2,300 plus employees, residing in 40 plus countries. And from those 2,300, we have about 900 engineers. So very much technically orientated and keeping the stack and our products very much alive. What you also see is that from our website, we have about 600 million downloads of our Elastic Stack every year. So what you can see is that almost every company in the world will have some form of Elastic, either in play, test, or even in production. And most companies who have their technology in production will actually have a subscription. And at the moment, from our latest financial numbers that we published last month, you will see that we have over 15,000 paying customers. Next slide, please. So what you see is that most companies have difficulties of turning mountains and mountains of data into actionable analytics and insights. And because all organizations in these industries, basically every industry, are facing rapidly changing market conditions. New customer trends, expectations of the customer are evolving, and technology and emerging competitor capabilities are something that they face on a daily basis. And to stay resilient and responsive and relevant, you need to make sure that you can make insights out of this data. And increasingly, customers are using the cloud to have these capabilities available, to be agile, and to be able to scale on demand. Next slide, please. Elastic is available on the marketplace of Azure, or in any form on Azure. And with our three main technologies, being Elastic Enterprise Search, Elastic Observability, and Elastic Security, you're able to have basically all your needs available on the Microsoft Azure marketplace. Next slide, please. And how do you find us there? Well, basically everything evolves around the Elastic Stack. The Elastic Stack is based on ingests, based on the Logstash technology, beats, lightweight ingest. That all comes into the Elastic Search data store. And from there on, with the Kibana visualization tool, you're able to basically do whatever you want. And that's where the three technologies, those three solutions are available from. And as you can see, it's available to be deployed on any type of technology that you would like. Next slide, please. If you go into a little bit further detail on the three solutions that we have, Elastic Enterprise Search is basically containing of three technologies. It's site search, the well-known search bar on every website where you can find your info, or where you can search for your information and find your answers. App search, like for instance, if you're on Uber and you want to find a driver to take you from A to B, the whole search experience behind that is based on Elastic technology. But also very powerful, the workplace search, that you as an employee inside a company can search for something in all the applications and programs that are available to you. If you take a quick look at Elastic Observability, you will find that we have application performance management technology, logs, metrics, and uptime. So you're able to find anything that you want and act on it very quickly. In the security space, you will find that we have a very good and very powerful SIEM and endpoint security solution. And with the recent purchases that we did from CMD and security, you will find that we are increasing our stack day by day. Next slide, please. So what you see here is if you are on Elastic, with Elastic on Azure, you will add much more value to your customer and to your user. Basically, all developers love the technology that we have available, and it's easy to deploy. It is out-of-the-box integration with a lot of Microsoft technologies. And of course, the partnership that we have with Microsoft is of the highest level. And if you go one step further, one slide further, thank you. You can see that you can deploy Elasticsearch on any type of way on Microsoft. We offer the Elastic Cloud, which is a fully managed SaaS solution, and it's available on 12 Microsoft regions worldwide. So basically what you do is you go to elastic.co and spin up a cloud solution, and you select the region of choice from Microsoft Azure. You can also deploy the self-managed solution directly on your preferred cloud and your already existing cloud with Microsoft. And finally, it's available in the Microsoft Azure Marketplace. Next slide, please. And there's two options if you want to go to the Microsoft Azure Marketplace. It's a fully Elastic managed service, as you can see here. I made a screenshot so you can see that all the features are available and directly capable to download and install on the marketplace. And the next one is that next slide. Yep, excellent. Is the self-managed version. So you decide how you want to proceed with your Elastic stack. Next slide, please. And there's a few differences on Elastic Marketplace when you choose for either full managed or self-managed. And as you can see, there is so much in favor of using the Elastic managed service, and maybe even the most predominant reason for you to choose are the bottom two. The average number of configuration steps that you need to take, it's only 10 and you're up and running. And because of that, we see that the minimum requirement for deployments is only just about 3 days instead of 3 weeks. So having it all managed by us and just using it seems to be the logic for current and future customers. Next slide, please. Elastic, as I mentioned in my introduction of Elastic, over 600 million people have downloaded the Elastic Stack for free and open use. And we have about 16,000 paying subscription customers. And basically what these customers are having, in addition to the free and open users, are a number of exclusive features that you will only find in our paid subscription. And you can find some here. And with our recent launch of Elastic 7.14, which for us is a minor release, but the number of new technologies and features that have been introduced, such as frozen tiers, that is so much more available in an exclusive subscription. So I highly suggest that if you are using our technology, play around with it, test it, and when you are ready, take a subscription. Next slide, please. And that's it from my side.
Thank you, Martijn. And then we'll have a second poll for you. So I'm going to start it right now. And the question is, what is the biggest challenge in your organization regarding observability right now? So the vote is open. "20 seconds, and then I'm going to close the poll. All right. A lot of answers coming in right now. All right. Thank you for voting. I'm going to close the poll right now. And these are the results. So 44% said too many monitoring tools and therefore no clear overview. 33% identifying a problem in production takes too long. And 22% said pricing models are not aligned with our observability objectives. And Martijn, Banu, what does these results say if we look at the answers?
If I may answer, I think that answer number one, 44% of people are explaining that they have too many monitoring tools, which makes it very difficult to have a clear overview. The big opportunity you have here with the Elastic Observability is that all these technologies for APM, logs, metric, traces, and uptime are available through one solution, the Elastic Stack and observability solution. And with the big advantage of our Kibana visualization tool, you can actually have everything in one dashboard. So I hope that if you're going to try Elastic Observability, you will find that you have your answer here with Elastic Observability.
Clear.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Introduction, Devoteam. Banu.
Hey, thank you, Simon. So about Devoteam. So Devoteam is a leading consultant firm focused on digital strategy and tech platforms, cybersecurity, and business transformation. We are a mid-sized company and very focused company with 25 years of experience. And we have over 4,000 certifications. And we are building a very strong technological. So yeah, you can stay here as well. Yeah. We are building a very strong technological foundation based on the cloud platform, and that is why. Thyman, can you please share on the next slide? Yeah. And this is why we have partnered with one of the best platform, and which we partnership with with leading at the most innovative platforms in the digital market. That is AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft, Salesforce, and ServiceNow. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'd like to introduce the 6 areas of expertise that Devoteam has chosen to focus on. The first is domain digital business and products. The second is data, and third is cloud. Then we have business automation and cybersecurity. Last but not least, it's sustainability enabled by digital. Next slide, please. Also, we have a local partnership with the leading and innovative companies like Azure, Elasticsearch, Red Hat, and at Devoteam we have 15 certifications, and we have a strong team of more than 15 Elastic certified consultants. Next slide, please.
And then we'll have the part Elastic on Azure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's start with the main webinar topic, that is Elastic on Azure. So I assume most of you are familiar with Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch has been there on Azure for a while, with various deployment options available for customers. That is, we will discuss in detail about the deployment options in the later slide. So recently, Elastic and Microsoft announced that users can deploy, manage an Elasticsearch from within Azure portal. That is the new integrated and unified Elastic SaaS solution. And This native integration supports easy onboarding of data and metrics from Azure resources. Azure supports and integrates with Elasticsearch, Kibana, Logstash, Beats, and related Elastic components. It leverages these tools to analyze, search, and monitor and secure your apps on Azure. You can also ingest Azure platform logs using native integration and view those logs in Kibana. You can also ingest logs and metrics from your virtual machines and view those logs and metrics in Kibana. There are multiple ways you can ship your data from Azure to Elasticsearch. We have a dedicated FileBeat Azure module for metric data. We have a MetricBeat Azure module for metrics data. Also, you can use this module on VM instances or containers and send data directly to Elasticsearch. You can clearly see how Elasticsearch and Azure is easily integrated from this diagram. And there are many modules available for different Azure logs, such as Azure Activity Logs, Azure Sign-in Logs, Azure Audit Logs. You could also run MetricBeat on Azure instances and directly ship data to Elasticsearch. So once you have your data on Elastic, you can easily visualize those metrics and logs on dashboard. So in this webinar, we will see how to create and manage an Elasticsearch resource on Azure, as well as how to automate the ingestion of Azure logs and metrics into into Elastic. Next slide, please. So coming to the added value. So what are the added values you will get when you use Elastic on Azure? So there are some benefits that includes cost savings. So by reducing IT infrastructure costs, user can estimate IT infra cost on the fly rather than in advance, and also scale up quickly as required without any downtime. You will also get improved security with cloud. You can easily implement security policies, governance, and compliance guidelines. When you are on cloud, you will also have instant access to your IT resources whenever you need them, irrespective of location. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, coming to the different ways to deploy Elastic on Azure. So as Martin has already explained about, quickly brief about different ways to deploy. So let me explain it again. So there are different ways you can deploy Elastic on Azure. You can easily onboard your data on Azure, whether you choose self-managed or Elastic managed based on your requirement. You can download and install Elasticsearch or deploy Elastic Cloud on your infra, also known as Elastic Cloud Enterprise, or using Kubernetes operator on AKS. In this webinar, we are going to talk about integrated Elastic Cloud on Azure. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay.
And this is the part where we will do the live demo, and that's why I'll give Banu access to share his screen.
Yeah.
So let me check. Okay. So you have now the possibility to share your screen.
Just a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know which screen you are seeing. Is it Microsoft or just a Google page?
The Google page. Yeah.
Okay. Still Google page?
No, this is the Microsoft Azure.
Microsoft, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just give me a second.
This is Google again, Banu.
Oh, sorry. Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's get started with the demo. So first from Azure Marketplace, you search for, so this is your Microsoft Azure portal. So when you log in, you will have this page. So from Microsoft Azure portal, you can just search for Elastic, and you will have different kinds of options that you can install. These are the options available on Microsoft Azure portal. So in this demo, we are going to use Elastic Cloud. So for this demo, we will use Elastic Cloud, and this is how we are going to. So So first, I'll explain you about what this solution is. So this solution is integrated and Elastic Cloud, which is a software as a service offering within Azure. So this new integration provides a simplified onboarding experience, and all with Azure portal and the tooling. So you can easily deploy Elastic without having to sign up for an external service or configure billing information in Elastic. So you can easily um, spin up your Elastic cluster from Azure portal, and you will get billed from your Azure account. In addition, you can manage Elastic Agent on Azure virtual machines to configure logs and metrics from their VM hosts. So here we are going to select subscription. So that is, and then the resource group. Yeah, and this resource group belongs to the Elastic and Microsoft account. And then this is a resource name. So you can name it anything, a friendly name. So ES webinar. And then this is a region. You can specify as per your requirement. So here I am using Northern Europe. And this is the size. So this is the default behavior when you spin up a new cluster, 16 GB RAM and 480 GB storage. And you can see easily, you will get the price indication here. And next. So here you can see that we have two options to send subscription log activity and Azure resource activity. So in this demo, we are selecting these two, and this is basically the logs about your Azure VM and Azure resources. And then click next. Here, you can add a tag on your for the Elastic resources. Like, let us suppose that you are tagging environment, and you can name it production, so that you will get an extra tag when you ingest this data into Elasticsearch, so that you know that okay, this data is coming from production environment. And click next review. So once this validation is passed, you can easily see what are the things that you have already configured. Like this is Microsoft Azure sponsorship, and then resource name, and just check everything is perfect, if everything is fine or not. And then you have to click on create. So this initiates a deployment process, and which is basically doing a background process for spinning up cluster and setting up single sign-on for your Microsoft Azure and Elastic integration. So sometimes it takes time to to spin up a cluster. So that's why we have to save some time. We have already created a new webinar. Elastic setup. and Elastic cluster. Let me show it to you. So this is already existing cluster. So once you spin up a cluster, it will you will see a brief overview of your portal. This is your resource group and the status that is healthy. This shows the status of your Elastic and where you have deployed that Elastic cluster, that is region West US, and which version you have installed, that is 7.14.1. And then you will have Kibana link, and then this is the Elastic endpoint. So from here, we can directly go to Elastic Cloud. See how easy it is to just log in into your Elastic Cloud and from your Azure portal directly. And this is basically, it is happening, it is leveraging your single sign-on and Azure identity. And you can see here, you have your Elastic Azure, Elastic cluster. You have one instance of Kibana and one instance of your Elasticsearch. Once you open Kibana, I assume you are familiar with Kibana and Elasticsearch. So once you open your Kibana portal, you will have Discover tab. See, here we can see that this Azure data is getting ingested, and these are the data which is either metrics. This is the logs, and we can also see the metrics from Azure VM and Azure resources. And this is one of the built-in dashboard that you can easily see and quickly have a look how your VM and Azure resources are performing. So here you can see that CPU usage is 15.15%, memory usage, and then what is the inbound traffic, outbound traffic, and then remaining things about your VM instances and Azure resources. So let me check, and yeah, and here we from your Azure portal, we have a couple of more options that is available. That is configuration. From here, we can easily resize your deployment. Just a single click, it will take you to the cloud platform. And there we can easily scale up and scale down your cluster on the fly. And you will have, see, like this is what we have done. And to scale up, we can easily click on the 2 zones or make it highly available 3 zones based on a requirement. And you will easily see that it shows the billing about your Elastic cluster. So if you change, it will show on the fly. And once you save it, it will change according to the changes you have done. So once you confirm, so it will take some time to implement those changes. And also you can monitor this deployment. That will take you to these log metrics. And also we can ship data from your virtual machines. So like in this demo, we are sending data from this this virtual machine. And if you'd like to see the logs and metrics from this virtual machine, you can directly click here, logs, and it will take you to the logging page of Kibana, where you can see all those logs which is getting ingested from that VM. See, this is a stream live. You can click on stream live and you will see all the data that is coming. See 1036, you can easily see all the logs which are getting ingested. And for metrics, just click on that link. It will take you to that dashboard. So everything is integrated and automated for the logs and metrics from Azure portal to Elasticsearch. And this is a metrics from this particular Elastic, this particular VM. And you can easily create new VMs, and same way you can ingest the data from this VMs. And even you have another options for logging and metrics. We have already selected these two options to send VM and Azure resources logs as well as metrics. And in this option, we can see that what are the resources that we are managing. So you can see that this is a sending. It means that this resource is already sending data to Elasticsearch. So everything from your Azure portal, you can control your entire Elastic cluster, and you can easily see and manage your logs and metrics. Okay, going to the next slide.
All right, so I'm going to take it over from you, Banu.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Banu, on-premise to Azure migration.
Sorry, let me open that screen. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So here we have where is that? Okay. Yeah. So let me show you a few on-prem to Azure migration approaches. So there are a few migration approaches that restore from snapshots, reindex from remote cluster, index from primary source. So to restore from snapshots, to enable this, you need to create a blob storage, and that should be accessible from both of the cluster, that is a new cluster as well as old cluster. So old cluster would be your on-prem cluster, and new cluster would be your Azure cluster. So you need to create a blob storage on your Azure portal, and then take snapshot on the source cluster, and then restore it on your cloud cluster. So, and for more detail, you can go to the documentation. It's very easy to follow. Then coming to the second option, that is reindex from remote cluster. You need to whitelist your remote cluster using reindex API. You can, so while whitelisting your remote cluster, you have to do it in your elasticsearch.yml file. And then using reindex API, you can easily reindex from old to a new cluster. And coming to the third one, index from primary source. So if you still have access to your original data source, then you can load it from there. That is connect your new Elastic cluster to the original source and pull the data to Elasticsearch and rebuild the index from scratch. And create a new index as well as index with the existing source, because rebuilding the index from scratch can be more resource intensive to run. So you can easily integrate with the primary source and pull the data to Elasticsearch. Next slide, please. Yeah. So coming to the Elastic security. So Elasticsearch service supports most of the security features that are a part of Elastic Stack. You can prevent unauthorized access with password protection and role-based access control, and even integration of Azure AD that we have just checked in, how Elastic Azure portal and how Elastic and Azure is interlinked and integrated with Azure AD. You can also preserve the identity of your data with message authentication, that is SSL and TLS on HTTP and transport layer. You can also block unwanted traffic with traffic filters, restricting all the inbound traffic to only the sources that you trust. So some of the settings that you do on Elasticsearch are very sensitive, like passwords. So you can always use Elasticsearch key store to keep it more safe and secure. And yeah, going to the next slide, please. And sorry, previous slide. Yeah, a couple of more things I would like to talk about here. It's this integration solution provides a private link that allows customer to securely connects to Elasticsearch from Azure Virtual Network into Elastic Cloud, like with single sign-on, that is authentication implementation in the solution. Customer can seamlessly log into Azure and Elastic Cloud with the unified Azure credentials, that is your Azure AD. And for billing, you will get billed directly to your Azure portal, Azure account. So no need to configure billing in Elastic details in Elastic. Yeah, next slide. Okay.
All right, so thank you, Banu, for the live demo. Then we will have our third poll, which I'm going to start right now. The third question, and that's after hearing the live demo and the storyline from Martijn, how can we help you with your observability challenge? And I'm going to launch the poll right now. So you can vote. So I'm interested in a brainstorm session about observability. I need more information about the possibilities of Elastic. I'm interested in use cases and experiences. I need help migrating Elastic to Azure, or none of the above. All right, so I'm going to close the poll in 10 seconds. See some answers coming in. All right, I'm going to close the poll. So looking at the results, 22% says I'm interested in a brainstorm session about observability. 44% I need more information about the possibilities of Elastic, and 33% said none. So thank you for the answers. Hide this one. All right, then we will finish our live demo and the storyline from Elastic, and then we'll come to chapter 9, and that's the question and answer. As I said in the beginning, you have the possibility to answer your question via our chat function. I don't see any questions right now, but if you have any questions for Banu, Baratiraya, or Martijn, please ask in the chat function, and I will monitor the chat. But I don't see any questions right now, so I think we can continue, and if I see a question coming in, then I will ask it immediately. So a quick follow-up. Martijn and Banu, how can we help with Elastic on Azure?
Maybe from my side, which is the number one, how can we help, is we have a standard 14-day free trial, which you can find on the Elastic website, top right-hand corner. But we have a specific 30-day trial available for anybody on this call today. So if you are able to provide the specific link underneath here, you will get a 30 instead of 14-day trial. Yeah, and basically go and enjoy the use case that you have there. If you have any questions, feel free to contact either myself or Banu Baratiraya from Devoteam.
Yeah, and from our side, you are of course always welcome to drink a cup of coffee and talk about Elastic observability, and of course how Devoteam and Elastic can help you with your observability challenges. And maybe we can start together Elastic in your marketplace account.
And adding to adding to that, we have a group of experts, so we can always help you to build a solution and understand your problem.
So last but not least, after this session, you will receive an email with the on-demand webinar version of the webinar. So you can always watch it again yourself. And for any other questions, please reach out to one of us, so to Martijn, Banu, Baratiraya, or to me. And I think I still don't see any questions left. So if you have any questions, please get in touch with us. And then we are at the end of the webinar, and I'd like to say thank you to our speakers, so Martijn, Banu, for joining and for our storyline, and of course thank you Baratiraya for joining, and I will also thank the audience for joining the webinar. Very good to have you here, and we hope to see you at the next webinar. So thank you guys.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you everyone.
Bye.